Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Happy Friday. Oh, come on in, you guys. Come on in. For those of you that know me, you know I love coffee, but I really am trying to be more healthy. So I've been drinking tea every morning. Good morning, Jordan. I'm sure you're tuning in just to hear your question answered. I appreciate that. Good morning. I will not be on for long this morning. Just want to come in, give you some great information, and then we will go from there. Good morning, Larry. All righty, come on in, come on in. He said, absolutely, Jordan. No problem at all. Spill. Don't drink it, spill it. Okay. I'm going to spill the real estate tea. Well, I'll go ahead and get started. I thank you guys so much for tuning in this morning to Get the Real on Real Estate. My name is Whitney Hampton, owner of Hampton Real Estate and Investments, brokered by A Progeny Global. We specialize in helping millennials create legacies of wealth by making home ownership a reality within 90 days or less. We seek to educate and to inspire. So part of the ways that we do that is our weekly podcast on Wednesdays, Wealth Building Wednesday. We do quarterly home buying seminars, monthly newsletters, and then I started this new segment on Fridays. Hey, cuz! I started this new segment on Fridays called Get the Real on Real Estate, where you can ask me any of your pertinent real estate questions and I will answer them. So I've already had a couple sent in, so we'll start there, okay? So one question was, why can't I get a 6-bedroom house with a 3-car garage in a high-income area for $50,000? It's the market. That's why you can't, right? So the market dictates how much we pay for housing, much like any other market. So if you are in a desirable area and you have a home that is desirable, usually that's going to call for a higher price in the market. Now, are there some ways around that? Yes, you can purchase what we call REOs or HUD homes. You can purchase foreclosures. You can purchase tax lien properties, which can give you a property that's much lesser in value. We call them distressed properties. But still have that space, have all of the bedrooms and everything. But more than likely, you may have to do some work. It could be a full rehab. It could be a streamlined rehab, or it could be just cosmetic things that need to be done. So the market really dictates what the price is. Not just the market as far as real estate market, but also understanding the seasons that we're in, right? So right now, in Chicago, this is what we call like our summer season. So usually this is when the industry is bombarded with buyers. And inventory is also, we see an influx of inventory into the industry and market. Right now, we do have that influx of buyers, but not as much inventory. So because of that, we're really shifting into what we call a seller's market, where sellers are getting top dollar for their properties. Because there's more buyers in the market than there is for inventory. So those of you who are about to start this process, I do highly encourage you, one, to find and use a professional and experienced real estate broker to guide you through this process and to make sure that your bids are won because they're bidding according to what the market is and what the market is calling for. The next question was, how much will solar power increase my home value? Now, solar power is like a double-edged sword in my opinion, right? Because it actually should provide a lot of value to your home, right? Because it's going to keep those energy costs low, which, I mean, we're all trying to find ways to save money. But the other part of that is it's not as huge or as hot a commodity where buyers are going to be willing to pay significantly more for a house that has solar power as opposed to a house that has all of the same features that they want without solar power. So we have to be very careful of the type of commodities that we add to a property and make sure that it is really going to significantly increase home value in comparison to what it's going to cost you to actually put that into your home. So it's the same thing like if you decided, listen, I want to do custom shelves throughout my basement and I'm going to pay a carpenter $15,000 to give me these custom bookshelves. And well, if buyers don't see that as much of a commodity, if they don't feel like that adds a lot of value, they're not going to pay significantly higher for that. So we just want to be aware of that when we're making home improvements as a seller. Another question that we had was, how do I determine if I should rent or sell my home? So it's really based on your situation. I think when it comes to real estate, we always want to pay attention to our specific situation. Right now, we know that mortgage rates are low. We know that it's a great time to get into the market, but that's only if you know that, for instance, you have stable income, right? If you know that you have stable employment, if you know that your credit score is above a 640, if you're looking at properties that are going to have equity in them, those type of things matter. Even though nationwide or market-wide, it feels like it's a great time to buy, you want to make sure that it's actually a great time for you to buy, right? So it's the same thing with selling your home. Right now, just as I discussed earlier, it really is a seller's market in Chicago. So is it likely a good time to sell? Yes, because you're more than likely going to get top dollar for your property. But here's the other part of that. When trying to decide if we're going to sell or rent, it's dependent on what are we trying to do? What is our end goal? If you were thinking about selling a property because you wanted to buy another property and you're going to need the cash from the sale of that home to put down for a down payment on that second property, then you sell, right? Because that's in direct correlation with what you're trying to do with the next goal in real estate. If you have the down payment, if you have the financing and are ready to move into a second property and don't need to sell the home and can allow that to be rental income for you, that's a great option for you. So in situations like that, again, we want to make sure that we've got an experienced real estate broker that can really break down what those numbers will look like. With my clients, I'm very number focused. So even when it comes to listing a property, what can we get out of this right now? What is the market dictating that this home is going to sell for in a relatively quick amount of time? And what will your bottom line be? Okay. And again, if that bottom line is not what we're looking for, is it economical or feasible for you to be able to rent the home until it is economical for you to do that? The next question was, can you buy a house, no money down, with no interest? No. Short answer, quickly. No. Can you buy a home with no money down? Yes. And the way that you can do that is if you are a first-time home buyer, we do have a lot of what we call down payment assistance programs. So you have state-regulated funds, so like IDA, Keosha program. You also have some lenders that have in-house down payment assistance, which is going to be Land Home Mortgage, right? So they offer in-house up to 6% down payment assistance. So again, find your realtor first so they can connect you with the right lender to provide you the correct programs that you need. Some of our lenders have programs special for doctors, nurses, anyone in the medical field, teachers, police officers, firefighters. So you want to make sure that you're connected with the correct lender as well as the correct program. Another question. Do you think real estate will see a spark during this pandemic? Yes. We've already seen, like I said earlier, an influx of buyers into the market because of the low mortgage rates. Do I think that will remain steady? If we continue to see a rise in unemployment, if we continue to see a rise in instability with employment and income, I believe that we'll start to see a shift in the amount of buyers that are entering the marketplace. I've been asked this question a lot, like, is there going to be a downturn in the market? Is there going to be a downturn? Yes, right? And not just because of this pandemic, but because real estate and most other industries are cyclical, meaning that they go through cycles. So you're going to have a cycle of, 7 years or maybe up to 10 years where things are on the rise, and then you'll see a decline for a couple of years, and then you'll see a rise. What the goal and the hope always is that decline is not, a recession or a depression or such a low decline that we're really just in a terrible situation as a whole. But yes, there will be a decline in real estate, and we have seen a spark or an influx of buyers into the market. The last question that I got was, am I giving away houses? No, I'm not. I am showing houses. I am selling houses. I am educating you on the best way to get into real estate and why it is one of the best ways to create legacies of wealth. But unfortunately, I am not giving them away. So were there any other questions? Let's see. Chris said case by case. Yes, there really is. Everything, you are more than welcome, Jordan. I was happy to answer your question. It was actually a good one. Everything in real estate is case by case. Again, there are some indicators in the market that will tell us certain things, but even with those market indicators, it really is important that we pay attention to your specific situation, that we look at your specific income, what your goals are in real estate, and we make sound decisions. And that is what my job is. So I hope that I answered all of your questions and that I gave you something to think about. I do want to just say this as well. It's the summertime in Chicago, okay? It is. And what does that mean? We are going to see properties come onto the market, and we are going to see them leave quickly. So if you are in the market looking to buy, you want to make sure that you are ready to make an offer if you love a property when you see it, okay? If you need any other assistance, oh, thank you, Sister Mabel. I travel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as always. If you found this information to be useful, please hit that share button. I hope you guys have an awesome Friday and an awesome weekend. Listen, if you want to see what you've never seen, you have to do what you've never done. So I encourage you, even though it's Friday, and usually this is the time where we try to kind of, just skate on by, I encourage you to dig your heels in today and knock it out of the park. Work as hard as you possibly can to see your dreams come to fruition. Have a great weekend.